right, welcome to the second review of the evening, and this has sort of become the Switch review episode.
Recently, it seems that way.
Yeah. Well, it's a good place for me to put a review I'm not covering, so I can save my voice. On that note, this week Galax will be reviewing a game called Super Wiloo Demake.
So I'm not sure. For my discovery, there is no Super Wiloo that this is a demake of, but the game is very much in the same sort of style as a demake. Well, honestly, excuse me, I had burp. It seems like it's sort of trying to be Super Mario Brothers 3 in a couple of ways. It's a basic pixely 2D platformer with a sort of silly plot about a little boy and apparently his sister at some point maybe going to rescue their dog from the evil Dr. Edvaldo, who has taken them because he was feeling lonely. You know, as you do. So it's a platformer. You got a double jump. You beat enemies, which are mostly square things with different emotion faces. Generally by bopping them on the head, and there are power-ups you can get that are all different animal costumes. There's what I think is an armadillo costume that lets you do a roll attack. There's a unicorn costume that lets you shoot your horn. There's a bee costume that lets you fly by jumping repeatedly, like beyond your double jump, although it's slightly limited. You start flashing after a while, and that's a limitation on your stamina. And I think there's another one, but I got hit enough that I don't remember exactly if there is. There doesn't seem to be any really radical environmental design or anything. Like, there aren't water stages and stuff that I was able to find in the first world and a half. There is ice physics in the second world, which is kind of a little bit of a problem because the game was a little bit slippery anyway, honestly. It doesn't feel super precise a lot of the time. Like, it's a little bit tricky to tell whether you're going to get hit by an enemy or whether you're going to jump on them if you start your jump late. Luckily, it usually seems to err on the side of I defeated the enemy when I thought I was going to get hit. In each stage, there are, I think, 4 worlds I counted looking on the overworld map of, 10 levels each. And at a couple places in each world, there is a progression gate. For each level has 3... There are plenty of coins in each level. Each level has 3 large coins. And there are gates that require you to have a certain number of coins to pass. There's a boss at the end of each world, all of which is some kind of cute animal thing, pretty much, of which I actually found a rather amusing glitch earlier with the first boss when I was trying that out again. It's a frog, and you just have to jump on it repeatedly, and I accidentally jumped on it and then died because unless you have a suit on, you have 1 hit point. But then my corpse kept bouncing on it because I was up against a corner of the thing, and then that defeated the boss, and it gave me the stage clear thing right before I respawned to try the stage again. Thankfully, it didn't block progression or anything, but I thought that was funny. And one of the thing that made me cemented it as being specifically Super Mario Brothers 3 in my mind is that every few stages, roughly once or twice per world, there is a bonus game that is a memory game that you can win the prize of coins or power-ups that go into an inventory that can be accessed on the overworld to choose a power-up from the suits to bring into a level without having to pick it up in the level, and that seems useful, but it's hard to get them because unlike in Mario 3, the memory game is not preset until you beat it. It's random every time, so basically you're picking randomly from, 18, I think, squares, and you have 3 chances to match 2. So basically you look at 2, and then you look at 2 more and hope, or look at another one and hope it matches one of the previous ones, look at another one, hope it matches one of the previous ones. Unless you get lucky and are good at it, and have, you remember very well, you're not gonna actually get much, because there's not a progressive pattern. Unless someone friggin', like in Mario 3, there are guides online that there are only a certain number of patterns, but I doubt that's the case here. So yeah, play experience-wise, a little bit slippery, floaty. It's really easy to lose the power-ups and not get to keep them for as long as you really would have liked to, although they're never actually necessary that I've found. I think they're sometimes necessary to maybe get one of the coins, but that's all. There's not a ton of enemy variety outside of the bosses. They're mostly emoji squares. They're not really a ton of variety in the music. There are different songs, but each world, I think, has, and it's not even, the first, 7 levels all have, the same music, and then there's, a stage with different music, and then the boss stage has different music. And then, early in the second world, there's, a remix of the first song that's a little bit more jingly, because it's a icy-looking stage, is what it felt like to me. So, I don't know, I might have even been mishearing that. I didn't have the sound up very hard, because the sound got very repetitive, because none of the songs are more than a couple bars long. So it's a cute game. It's not bad, I don't think, but it's also not a must-play thing. Although the fact that it is pretty cheap helps.
Indeed, this game clocks in at $5. Seems to be a pretty standard price for Red-alike ports.
So yeah, there is enough length of gameplay, and there is enough variety, I guess. The stages are not short stages either. You're gonna get a good amount of play for your buck, but it's not a amazing platforming experience or anything. So check it out if that kind of game appeals to you, I guess.
So I guess that's about it for the Super Wiloo Demake here.
I apologize for being brief.
It's fine. Not every game is going to be an hour-long review.
It was kind of interesting, but I started playing this with my friends while I was just in the room with my friends, and while I didn't have a problem with it, they found the repetitive music really annoying. So, take that as you will.
Duly noted. Anyway, that'll about do it for this review. Be sure to tune in after the break, and we'll be reviewing Damsel.